Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
As you know, in the rules that we talk about in the Helping Seniors Get Your Ducks in a Row thing, we say there's two things. What's number one is don't try this on your own, which is our point that we were really talking with Tisha Hill, with Raymond James, and also elder law attorney Greg Schwendeman, is like when you goof up, Nancy Deerdorf, who's our director of development, who's enjoying a well-deserved vacation this week up in North Georgia with her husband. They're having a great time. But she has this thing, how do you know what you don't know? And what you don't know really can cost you a lot of money. The person that thinks they're being, everybody knows the expression penny wise and pound foolish. So they see that ad on TV, says, oh, you can do your own paperwork. And you do your own paperwork, and then you have to go to elder law attorney Greg Schwendeman at Rhodes Law, because now it's going to cost you like 100 times maybe what it would have cost to just do it right the first time. And unfortunately, there's just no do-overs in some of that stuff. And the same thing, talking about Raymond James, when you were talking about the experience that, because it's not just Tisha Hill, but you have all the backup of Raymond James. So those guys are always like, they can give guidance about here's what you need to do, that they're aware of everything that's moving in the market, how to do it right. Like, it was interesting, the story you were telling about the gentleman that you're trying to help now, who's now kind of, can I retire? Can I not? Because I was playing around and got caught on the wrong end when the musical chair stopped, is basically the only way I know how to put it. So this is so important. That's corollary number one. Corollary number two, though, is don't put this off. So we call it don't be an ostrich and stick your head in the sand. You want to get a hold of these things as early as possible, because it gives you several things. It's less stressful. As Karen could tell you, when they get the call, we will try to help anybody. But if it's that call like mom is leaving the hospital 3:00 this afternoon, we got to figure out where she's going. She can't come home safe. Well, everything gets really time compressed. Your options get really limited. Your time to make a decision is very short. So almost by definition, your options are more expensive because you don't have time to research and do the things you want to do. And then on top of it, how many know we always make our best decisions when we're under maximum amounts of stress, right? What if you could actually think this through and get ahead of the curve? That's part of it. And this is one of the reasons, as we shift into this part of the conversation, I'm so grateful that we have folks like Tami Leeberg, who has really a lifetime of experience, not only in medical care and medical treatments, but as a ARNP. Let me see if I can say this right again. You are board certified geriatric nurse practitioner. Is that right? So not only is this somebody who understands everything that's going on medically, but also understands specifically from the senior side of it. And when we were having the conversation, she says, we're launching our new company. It's going to be called Senior Solutions Mind and Body. She said, I really want to do a couple of things. I want to assist people in that transitional care moment, like when they are in that thing, like I'm here, but I've got to do something different and I don't know. Because how many of you ever had a hospital stay and they send you home with certain instructions, but maybe your other doctor doesn't know what's going on, or, it's hard to get everybody to communicate the way you should. And somebody like you can really step in and help make all that go in a smooth way. The other thing, though, is we've got this talking about, we've done a few TV programs years ago with one of the ladies who really had a passion for this, about senior mental health. And we don't talk about words like depression, and we don't talk about some of the challenges that go on. And Tami Leeberg said, this is something I want to accomplish in our company, is to try to be a help in that area as well. So with that in mind, let's welcome Tami Leeberg.
Going to change it up just a little bit this morning. First, I want to thank all of our veterans. I know Memorial's coming up, and I want to thank you all for your service. Duly appreciate that. I was going to start and talk about the transitional care, but this is Alex Thorpe. He is our psychiatric nurse practitioner who's with Senior Solutions now, and he has a patient at 12. So we're going to go ahead and let him go first, and then I'll come in next. Alex?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alex, and I've been blessed to work alongside Tami for, I'd say, the last decade or so. And I'm excited to share with you what Senior Solutions has to offer. I've been doing home health care for the last almost 20 years inside people's homes and such, and people have different support systems. Everyone would like to stay at home for as long as possible. However, there does come a time where an assisted living facility is needed for safety reasons and such. So Tami and I, we help with the transition from the hospital to the assisted living facility, or sometimes the independent side of an assisted living facility to the memory care unit. So we provide a full initial psychiatric evaluation. When you have to leave your home and go into an assisted living facility, it's a major lifestyle adjustment. There's a loss of independence. And we try to help with that stage. There can be depression. There can also be anxiety, a lot of anxiety as well. So we do provide that initial psychiatric evaluation and med management. I wanted to share some of the questions on the screening tool we use. We asked about depression, how the mood has been, whether it make a positive difference in that stage of life. I'm going to share with you, we follow up every 30 days, sooner if needed.
Thanks, Alex. So one of the things, the conversations, the well-being of our loved ones is, like Alex was saying, a lot of times you'll go into the hospital, you'll have a fall, or you'll just have an infection, and you or your loved ones will go into the hospital. You'll be there for a few days. And as anyone that's had to deal with this knows, the stay of hospitals is getting shorter and shorter. So you may be discharged with still an acute infection. You may have had a fall and your walk is still not right. Your gait's not right. So they go home and they say, follow up with your doctor in 3 to 5 days. And I don't know how many of you have tried this, but to get into your doctor in 3 to 5 days is nearly impossible these days. It's usually 30 or sometimes longer. So that's the gap that I wanted to fill. So as a primary care, we did mobile primary care and we go into different facilities already. So we are familiar with a multitude of homes and assisted living facilities. So we do private homes. You can go into your home. If you have family members that are getting ready to have this transition, that's another thing. As the caregiver, it's difficult to be a caregiver of a loved one. So sometimes there's a lot of caregiver burnout. Alex, on the mental health side of things, can come into your home and help with that also. So you're not just treating the patient, but we want to treat the family also. Risk after discharge from a hospital, 1 in 5 seniors end up back in the hospital in the first 30 days after a discharge. That's a national statistic, not here in Florida, but and it's usually for preventable reasons. Usually it's the medications that you should have come home with. Maybe you didn't realize it, because a lot of times I'll see all my patients discharge instructions at the very bottom of like 15 pages after they've told you how to wash your hands properly, says, go home with Keflex 1 a day for 7 days. That prescription may never get to you. And then you're home for like 2 weeks and your UTI flared back up or your bronchitis flared back up because you didn't get the medication. Other things could be because you had a fall. And a lot of us don't think, well, we had a fall because I slipped on that rug. Do we get rid of the rug? Usually not, because that's part of our decor. And we don't think of it that way, but that's our job. So we come in, we work with multiple home cares, we work with private duty agencies, and we look at all of those things to try to prevent those rehospitalizations, because the worst thing is to have to move from your home. If and when you or your loved one does have to make that transition, we can also help. We work with multiple placement agencies. And then once you're in the assisted living, you'll still see our face. So we can come in, we can help with the mental health issue part of it. Alex will be seeing people every 1-2 weeks to 30 days. It's all through insurance. Also, we bill all insurances. And we make sure that when you're home or when you're back in the assisted living, that you get the medications you need, you get the home care that you need, and all of those things. And then we also help with the legal part of the paperwork that the assisted living needs. So a lot of times we'll get a phone call and it'll say, my family member needs to move in on a Friday, but the 1823, which is just this legal form that the assisted living has to have, hasn't been filled out. And their PCP won't fill it out because he hasn't seen you for 6 months. So we can come in see you really quick for a one-time visit, do that paperwork, and help you get to where you need to be or your family person needs to be. Another challenge is most of us, as we get older, we do have multiple health issues. So you may have diabetes, heart disease, arthritis. You do start having memory problems. Your walk or you're stiff and your posture is not what it used to be. We bring in all of those third parties to help you with that. So we work with outpatient occupational therapists that come to the home or can come to your assisted living. We bring in mental health now. And if you need medication management, Alex and I both can do that. As Kerry said, I do adult and geriatric medicine. So medication management for anxiety or depression. If you don't need the psychosocial part that Alex can offer, then we can still do that. And we work with your primary care provider. So we're not taking their place. We work in addition to that to help fill that gap. Because as we all know, the number of geriatric patients is rising and rising, especially in our state. So PCPs just can't get to, even if they want to, as fast as they should. So we're here to fill that gap. The other thing is, it has been proven that when you do have this transitional care visit and this gap you're seeing within the first 7 days of getting home, we like to get out there within the first 2 to 3. Because like I said, if you need medication, you don't want to wait that 7 days. So we try to get out as soon as we know you're getting a discharge and make those arrangements for you. And once we've come out there, if you need us to see us again, we'll see you as much as we can until we get you that appointment with your PCP. And a lot of times, once we've seen you and we make that call as another provider, we can get you in a lot faster with your primary than if you just call and say, I was discharged from the hospital, and they say, we're going to see you in a month. We can make that call and be like, no, you need to see him in like 2 weeks. So we'll help you make that appointment and get you back into your doctor. The other thing I wanted to talk about too was that assistance doesn't mean that 24/7 care. It can start with meal prep, which we have a collaboration with Chef Jillian, of those that you have met her. So we can help bring in a chef to your home who helps you with meal prep and creates those. So all you have to do is pop it in the oven and you have a very quality, nutritious meal, which is going to help you stay healthier longer also. We can help with transportation needs. I cannot, but I can call Karen and she helps us with that. So, and then sometimes you just need someone, or your family member might need, just come in a couple hours a day or a few hours throughout the week just to give them a companionship and to talk. And we have private duty agencies that we can refer to also to help with that. The other thing I wanted to mention that Alex helps with also is that on the family side of things, it's a lot to be a caregiver. And sometimes the guilt, my mom's in the audience, so I apologize. My dad has dementia. So the guilt of having to take care of that person as the family member builds up. And Alex can help with that also. Because it is a lot. You have your own family, you have your own thing. And then you have this family member that you want to be able to bring home with you, but you can't. So he can help with that too. I think maybe I should call him after this. So I'm not a crier, so I don't know where this is coming from.
Tami, can I share a quote?
Yeah.
So I like to share a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King. He once said that it is not necessary to see the whole staircase in order to take the first step. And at Senior Solutions, we're here to help your loved one take that step.
Thank you, Alex. So to wrap it up, transitional care after hospital stay isn't optional. It is essential. It's to protect the senior's health and to prevent further complications and to keep them out of the hospital. Because a lot of times you'll go in the hospital with one thing and you'll come back with the second thing. And when families take these early steps, they're not just planning for the emergency, or it's not a knee-jerk reaction, but you're building a safer and more supportive environment for you and your family member. And we at Senior Solutions, Mind and Body, would love to help you all and your families with that. So any questions? Yes, Karen.
So medicine maintenance. Okay, so my concern is there's a lot of people out there that are on different medications, and they're from 5 different doctors. And then so when you look at those medications, and obviously you know which ones will not react too well with other ones, do you go further? Do you go to them and say, we need to let your doctors know that these 2 medications don't go together?
Yes, we will. Also, so polypharmacy is a huge issue especially with our elderly community. And I'm very much, and always have been, less is more. If I can get you off drugs, I will in a heartbeat. If I see 2 things that I really think you should not be getting together, in my professional opinion, I'll go ahead and make that change. And then when we do our notes, that will go to your primary care provider, so they'll know that what we have done. I wouldn't do that. Just say, okay, I'm going to take you off this because, a lot of times what I see as a primary is they'll come home with a blood pressure medication for hypertension, and then they have been getting low blood pressure at times, or been getting dizzy. So they put them on a different drug for at the times that it's low, it brings it up. That is asinine, in my opinion. So what I'll do is I will drop their blood pressure medication, take them off the one to bring it back up, and then bring in home health care with a nurse that's seeing you every week. And then they can send those reports to your PCP and make sure that it's okay. I will cover that in the interim. And so the home health nurse would call and say, great, their blood pressures are good now. They're not having dizziness or anything. And then that PCP will know what happened. If there's an issue, I'll continue to come out and see them and tweak them until I know they've made that appointment. Any other questions?
Hi. You're a psychiatrist, correct? So do you prescribe pharmaceuticals?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
Do you prescribe non-pharmaceutical?
Supplements and such?
Something that is more holistic.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely believe in natural remedies as well. At Senior Solutions, we following up on a visit with medication management is key. Sometimes you'll find people on benzodiazepines or different medications where there's no follow-up. So usually we do our follow-ups every 30 days, but by all means, we can come if there's a need before then. Tami has a lot of established relationships with the majority of the assisted living facilities in Brevard County. So we're there if you need us. Yes, ma'am.
So if you're more of the holistic, I'm also a vegan. So when you want to look at more of the natural ways to help heal the body and the mind, you're able to have resources for that?
Yes. Actually, I was raised a vegetarian as well. Yes, but yeah, we do. There's therapies, we have yoga, we have meditation. I have 4 or 5, we have 4 or 5 pages of Brevard County, just the resources we've obtained over the years.
So a question from my perspective, or maybe it's a little bit of to ask you guys to comment on, is I think one of the things that's so valuable about what you offer is that so often if people go into what I call like the traditional medicine kind of things, it's very easy to get lost in the cracks because you don't get enough time with the person who's trying to help you. It's not that they don't want to care, it's that their schedule is so packed. And then the second part is that maybe not necessarily the right hand understand what the left hand is doing. And there's a lady many of you guys know, her name is Dr. Cressida, and she is part of a group called Faith Walk by Two. And if you remember, she's a licensed pharmacist. And she talks about the danger because, you go to one doctor for one thing, you go to another doctor. And when you were telling the story about how you could have 2 different pills doing 2 different things about your blood pressure, and it sure seems like a better, more healthy approach if you could figure that equation out and just kind of like not have one medicine fight the other.
Yeah, exactly. Because any drug you take, whether it's an over-the-counter Tylenol, which people think, oh, it's over-the-counter, it's fine. That's not the case. Every single drug that you put in your body can have a side effect. So to have 2 different drugs that are, doing that, the best thing is, and I will get patients sometimes that will have like 3 pages of medications. Nobody should have that ever. Young, old, it doesn't matter. So that's one of the things that we look at. We try to decrease that polypharmacy as much as possible. We also have mobile massage therapists that we have. So they're not with our company, but we have slew of resources for things like that.
Yeah, and when you guys were talking about holistic approach to stuff too, Dr. Kevin Kilday, wave Dr. Kevin, with Faith College of Natural Health, that's part of it. It's neat to see where medical professionals don't discount the value of holistic health. They see it all what is going to be the right tool for the right moment. Can you maybe comment a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of integrative and functional medicine out there. I actually myself see a functional medicine doctor for my health. And so that's things that we do like to try to integrate. So obviously we both are prescribers, but we want to prescribe the correct thing and only the correct thing and help everybody get off of those things that they may not need and maybe do a natural approach for that. So
who is the right person and when should they give you guys a call? Like, how do we know when it's the right time to give Senior Solutions Mind and Body a call and explore what you guys can do?
So if anybody is in the hospital or your family members are in the hospital and you're going to be getting discharged, you can give us a call. Like I said, we do have an office person who runs our insurance. My nurse, Kelsey, is in the back there. You would be talking with her also. And we can, if we know you're going to be discharged, say on a Monday, and, we can get out there Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest, and help those do that transitional care visit. Make sure your PCP knows that you need a follow-up, make sure your medicines, make sure your home care is ordered. Because a lot of times what will happen is the hospital will write that you need physical therapy at home, but that's as far as that order goes. Because the home care company needs a provider that will sign those forms for them. And the PCP can't do that until they see you. And if they can't see you for 30 days, then we're right back in that cycle. So anytime that you're in the hospital or you're having a loved one in the hospital, you can give us a call. If you are the family member and you're just having issues with guilt or the grieving process, or that your mom's going to probably need to move into an assisting, or you're trying to keep her at home, but she's having memory issues or anxiety or depression because she's lonely or whatever it may be, you can call us then and Alex can go out and see them. If we can't help, which is rare, but if we can't, we certainly can get you in touch with someone who can.
Let's take this question.
So you talk about going into the hospital. What if they're already in a skilled nursing from the hospital? They're there for like a broken hip or something. Do you come into the facility or do you need credentials?
No, we can't go into the rehab because they have their own hospitalists and they have their own doctors there that's seeing that patient. But at the time that they would be going home or to an assisted living, once they're being discharged, we can see them right away. And what usually happens is what I'll do is if I'm called and it's like, oh, they're in the rehab now and they're going home next week, they had a left hip fracture, then we'll reach out to the family member. Actually, Kelsey would do that, talk with the family member about when it would be a good time. And then we would go out within those first few days.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, what I was going to start to ask about, what I thought was unique is that you were talking about the fact about the caregiver, because, if they send you home from the hospital and they have, here's a certain set of things that you want to do, well, now maybe there's two people at home and the one person can't leave the person to go figure out what to do next. And I like how you talk about the fact that you can support both sides of the equation, the person that's actually coming back home, but maybe the person who's trying to wrestle with everything connected to the caregiving.
Yeah, because it is a lot, especially when you're going into, say, you're going into assisted living or your loved one's being discharged from the hospital. You're asked to sign a book this big. And we all know that you can't read through all that. And most of the time you don't. And it's just sign. So you get a lot thrown at you as on the caregiver side of things. So whatever we can do to help relieve that is what we're here for.
Yeah. Any more questions? One back here. Let me bring the microphone back to Priscilla.
My question is this. Are your services covered by insurance?
Yes, ma'am. So right now, because we are a new company and I'm a medical professional, I'm not a business billing person. I'm learning all of that. So we are credentialed through Medicare. We're getting credentialed through multiple other insurances also. Health First, United, Aetna, Humana, TRICARE. But what we're doing in the interim until those come through, because sometimes those can take a while, is that as long as it's a PPO plan, we can bill the out-of-network benefits, and then I just write off the difference. So just like you would see your PCP, it would cost you the same thing. And all of that's billed through before you ever get anything. So
How do people get in touch with you guys? I guess you have some cards and things back.
yeah, on our back table, we've got our brochures. Our phone number is 321-429-2677. We also have business cards back there if you'd like to pick that up. We do have a website and an email. So if you have any questions, you could call or email us, and we'd be more than happy to answer those.
As chairman of the Brevard County Commission on Aging, I would like to present Kerry Fink, who is chairman of our advocacy subcommittee, and he is a very much more eloquent speaker, and he's the best dressed guy in Brevard County. So I'm going to present Kerry Fink.
I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors of Brevard. Today, I am here to talk about the work that we do together with the chair of the Brevard Commission on Aging, is Dr. Potomsky. Our role is we're 100% seniors all the time, and you already know 1 in 4 of us in Brevard County are age 65 plus, and you also know that 1 in 2 of us are over the age of 50. So by AARP definitions, they're going to send you a membership card the day you turn 50, whether you're insulted or not. Brevard County is gaining so many seniors every day, and it happens for 3 reasons. Number 1 is that more people are turning 65. It's 1 every 7 seconds nationally, so everybody is turning 65. But the other thing is people are just flat living longer. They used to stop down a national television show to honor the 2 people in America who turned 100. Today, there are many people, 100, who are seniors in our area. And then third, everybody's moving to Florida. As one of the leading counties in terms of aging, I would love our goal collectively 5 years from now is people look at Brevard County and go, these people are taking good care of seniors. So that's what we're here to do. And so thank you for this time to share on that.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.